Hello! In the last couple of weeks I've been trying to make a video about my experience going to Berlin and Superbooth. Had this great vision of doing that, realizing I am not a travel vlog or gear gazing type of video maker. It was awesome. I can't say anything else. I'm not going to do that video, I guess. So just gonna leave it at that. There might come a few projects or a few smaller videos about some of the things from there. But yeah, there's lots of other videos about Superbooth if you want to see what's there if you haven't already, so I'm just gonna leave that. Instead, I am going to make a video that I've been preparing for a long time. Also, because my brain is, I can't keep it under control. There's probably a diagnosis for that. And one of the good things when I did modular in a week series was, except for getting a modular made, it was also for me to keep myself in check. I had, by doing the constraints of the days, I had to constrain myself. In the first day I had to do only VCOs, then only VCAs, and on like that. And that made me keep on track doing that. I've lost that momentum since I don't have the modular in a week day routine anymore. So what has happened is I work on a module, but then while working on a module, I get an idea for another module, and my brain spins out. And it's so easy to just order PCBs and stuff like that nowadays. So I just end up ordering something or starting something. And yeah, so I want to go through this table, which contains a lot of projects in the making, and hopefully this will be a starting point and a constraint to try to keep the next few videos about projects on this table, and hopefully just get them done or scrap them or something like that. So that's what this video is about, a bunch of ongoing, failed, or paused projects. Before we continue with doing that, I want to say thank you to my patrons who support me over on Patreon. Thank you very much, guys. It's very nice of you doing that, and hope you get some information more than these very few videos I put out nowadays. So with that, let's start going through these projects. Alright, so let's start in this corner. I want to start with this really sunken cost fallacy project I have here. So, while sitting doing something else, I came up with an idea for making a switch and mute kind of module that uses these membrane switches, which I have a bunch of, and it should look something like, let's see if this one is the correct one that fits. Yeah, so it should look something like this, and you'd have switches here that would switch around a few of these things in a nifty manner that I figured out. Arduino controlled, also, even because I thought you could even use different kinds of switches as these are IC switches, so you could actually just replace them with another kind of switch if you wanted to. This has halted because let's see if we have the latest ones here. There's not much room, first of all. There's, as you can see, it is really tight with space. But I think I might have figured that out. Yeah, and I actually made it 1 HP wider, this last one, just to accommodate for, because there's a lot of components beneath the Arduino and stuff like that. So just trying to make it a little bit easier to route. And it's buttons we're talking about, so you still want to have quite a bit of space around to push the buttons, I guess. The problem is two parts. One, these footprints for these buttons, somehow they are, I don't get a good signal or a good push. I don't know if it's these buttons that are subpar or if it's the footprint that's not good enough. And the second part is because I want to use WS2812 for this. There is also the problem that the hole interferes with the footprint of the what are these called? They're called trellies. So it's the trellis footprint, and that makes it more difficult. I made this one. I tried to, instead of doing this, I tried to make my own footprint with just drawing traces in the EDA software. Total catastrophe, but I've tried so many different ones. I have loads and loads and loads of these different tries I've made. Yeah, see. So here's another box just full of these in different kinds of ways. Also, if you put these trellis straight on the back PCB 1 centimeter above, they are very flush, and that doesn't work. It's not a nice feel. So I had to make this small extra board to put a few millimeters up, so you would get that rise. Yeah. Let's see. There it is, and there it is, and there. So you get a bit of a rise. They're a few millimeters up there. But this one, I'm not giving up on this one, but there are more important things I need to do, or no, that's wrong. There's more easier things to do than this one. So this one is set to the side for now. With all these, I could probably throw away quite a few of these boards though. Next one up is the wheel. So this is a wheels clone, the quad VCA clone of Mutable Instruments wheels. Yeah, I'm going through I have printed out the schematics and comparing it to the original as soon as I have time for that. So I can sit down and do a bit of comparing. to see where I went wrong with this one, because somewhere I went wrong and I am burning out the AS2164, which is a very expensive chip, so I don't want to do that too much. So it's a work in progress. It has been on hold for a while, but this one is definitely. I'm coming back to this one, of course. Which brings us to the saddest part of this board, I would say, and that is this: the Tidal and Capricorn. That way. So this is, of course, the Mutable Instruments Tides clone, and the Tides also had an alternative firmware called Sheep, and that's Capricorn. So these are the exact same module. These are, of course, prototypes, but there is one. The last revision is maybe one revision away, but this one has been working for over a year, and I've just been pushing it away and not finishing this module, and I don't know why. There's a couple of reasons. It's very complex, and also it uses to make this really special kind of board for the DAC, because this DAC isn't in through-hole version. So there's that, and there's also the voltage regulators. I had a few problems getting those through-hole, which I think I have managed now. So, but there's one revision more. I'm sending it over to a few people who are going to try to build it. I've had one to build this and have a lot of notes already, but I need some notes on the new one. So this one is definitely coming, because it is finished, and yeah, just there's I even have the component set done already. So this is one of the stupid ones that I haven't finished yet, but and that's what I mean. I get sidetracked. I'm so close, and then I'm done. I made this. I'm done. I have this now, and then I lose interest, and I just move on to the next thing, because next thing. So that's a fault I have, as I've said. Next thing, this one has been lying a long time. So this is the Andes. This is not my design. This was made by one of the people over on the Discord server, and it is a CV controlled Beaks. So it's built around the Beaks, or Matthias Levy's design, but it has then CV control of all the knobs. Reason is I don't have the correct values of knobs, and that has just stopped me in my way. That's irritating, but and could easily be solved by just buying the correct parts, I guess. And yeah, I haven't done that yet, and that's on me. There are files you can I don't think he sells these. I will look that up and put a link in the description if he sells these PCBs, and if it doesn't, I think you can find Gerber files, so you can make them yourself. Order them yourself. Oh, look. More PCBs and for the switcher. I'm telling you, this one is a sunken cost fallacy at its best. This one is a really fun project. I'm gonna use this one as an example, and I'm gonna get the panel from the modular. So this is the bread bed. If we look at this here, let's take a new breadboard. So you place a breadboard in here, in its bed, and then you have a 16-pin cable IDC that you connect like that, and then you connect that to this module that you have in the modular, like so, and you will get power plus minus 12 volts and plus 5 volts and ground, of course, to this one, and this one can of course be used to power any module if you would have, so you can use this just to have it like this and try other modules out outside of the rack, just like you can on the POW. But the extra feature here is you have two female pin sockets here that says jack 1, 2, 3, 4, and that corresponds to jack 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So if you do have a project like this and you want to have it connected to the modular when you try it out, you can just connect one of the things from here onto one of these jacks, and you can have it like this, walk away to your bench, do your work, and when you get back you just connect that, and if these jacks are plugged into something, it is immediately plugged into the modular. So a fast way of working with these small prototyping boards. I actually have these from JLC PCB coming my way, but I already figured out a bigger version, of course, so there's always improvement, but yeah. So the bread bed, there will come a video only about this one as well. So let's just, since we have this out here, this is a project of getting a Raspberry Pi Zero into the modular. So I have the Raspberry Pi here. I have a board for the WM8731 that you can use to get audio in and out of the Arduino of the Raspberry Pi Zero, because it doesn't have any on-board stuff like that. This is a sequencer. This has also been like this for over a year. I have done a lot of prototyping on paper, and so I have a very nice, interesting idea, I think, for how I want this to work. But yeah, I get sidetracked all the time as well. I really want a sequencer, so I should prioritize this project. However, yeah, sidetracked, and it's yeah, some projects are just a bit too complicated and I just need to marinate them for a while. But a sequencer is coming along very, very slowly. Here's one thing from Superbooth, Clactronics. I got some of his, the VCO and the VCF, so I built them and I should show them off, I guess. One thing, now we get into Superbooth territory anyway, because one of the discussions me and my friends had when we were there was how we could make a affordable modular case built out of, for example, PCBs. And when we came to Clactronics booth, of course he had already made one, and where quite a bunch of all the stuff that we had thought about, he had already figured out how to which screws to use and stuff like that. So this is really cool. This is the Clactronics 12-inch rack, where you just break it apart like this, and with a few 2mm screws you screw it together and get a 12-inch rack. Basically, you tap the holes by just screwing in the screws, and yeah, here's even a back how do you say, a power rail in the back that you can add onto with surface mount components. Not sure how well this is going to hold. Surface mount is not known for being that strong, but yeah, so it's aluminium, so you break it apart and build it somehow, which I haven't. I'm going to look at this. I haven't gotten the screws, the correct screws yet, so that is the next step for this. And then VCO and VCF. Awesome. It's really nice when you can. I had a bunch of modules with me, and I could exchange that for other modules. Doesn't work with the big commercial expensive ones, but for the DIY community, that is a really nice thing. So now we got into the Superbooth thing, because I have to show this. Talking about things I need to do, so we had a small swap meet, me and my friends at the hostel, where we just got a few, all the stuff we had with us, we let people exchange that. So this is from Lenimal, so it's an XO LFO. This is a Clouds clone, but with a lot of SMD components, so I'm not sure I dare to make this one. A low pass ladder filter, a VCO, Vixen 3000, Sparkle is a voltage controlled amplifier, and a Sensei 8-bit sequencer. So that should actually be put here as well. Not as a project as such, but yeah, as things I need to build. We are coming to other parts over there. And we somehow slipped into Superbooth territory anyway. So I want to go through all the other stuff, modules and panels, blank panels I got in Superbooth as well, because that is part of this. And well, as you can see, I've already made a few of these modules. So here we have Nearness by Ed Random. it is you have outputs in the ends, and then depending on which jack you use in between, you pan the signal between the two. Then we have some blank panels. Everyone who was in the same tent as This Is Not Rocket Science got to make their own panels for the panel maker of This Is Not Rocket Science. So this one here, and this one here. So nice aluminium panels. It's if you want to know, it's from repos.nl. I haven't checked them out or anything, but yeah, if you're into panels, they're probably expensive, but I don't know. I especially like this one. You roll a 20-sided die 3 times to get inspiration on what kind of genre you're going to play. For example, mainstream, queer, ambient. Of course, very, very popular genre nowadays. Then we got the Piezo by David Haillant, which he made. It's an ears clone. Then we got a blank panel from Clactronics. This one was really fun. Met this guy in a art gallery. We started talking about synthesizers and stuff, and exchanged modules. So I got this one, Larynx Oscillator. Comes from an online magazine that he's creating with DIY synth and also art. I'll put a link to the magazine in the description, where there are Gerber files if you want to make this. And it's a chaos oscillator built around the 555. We'll see if I can make a video about this. It's a really strange module that I haven't figured out yet, but very good looking, with the eyes here shining with LEDs on the back. Then we got the VCF from Clactronics. Life is Unfair, a very nice blank panel from someone, which I don't remember, unfortunately. This is from Modulov, Make Sense Not War. Here's the VCO from Clactronics, which I somehow messed up. It oscillates, but it oscillates way too fast, out of human hearing, so need to look at that. Another blank panel, and here's the Weathering, the Lenimal Clouds clone over here, that one. That I'm unsure if I'm able to build, but yeah. So a bunch of all the treasures from Superbooth as well, which have been projects that have been made already. Okay, this one. So in one of the videos in the early part, I did this, I took this 16 voice soundboard that with a bunch of switches you could make 16 types of voice. Basically, you could call it a dub siren, like you had ambulance, police, alarm sounds of different kinds. And I showed it to Simon the Magpie, and he said, "Oh, you really got to make a good module out of this." This is many years ago. And I basically put it to rest and thought I'm not going to do that. But then, yeah, after you learn new things all the time, and when you learn something new, you sometimes wait, that project, why did I do that, and why didn't I do that? So that's where I'm at right now, and I want to revisit this as a quirky little module, and so that's that's a new addition to this that unfortunately sneaked its way in here. So, but that will be, and those will be secondary for now, I'd say. Let's take this one. Someone made a video about this little audio interface that you could use to your computer, and they made a thing that you could make this into a CV output device from your computer. I thought that sounded interesting and bought this to try and do the same thing. I took it apart, and that's where it's at. So this one is definitely, let's put this in the scrap pile for now. Here's so I have made the power supply. That was the first module or first thing I built in my modular in a week series. After a while, I did the POW. For those who know, there's the on and off switch for this one on the panel. There's indication that it works. There's a USB output and a Eurorack power output on the front, so you can try out your stuff. When I did my rack video a few months or so ago, there's this thing how to get power between the rack shelves, and I came up with this idea because if you use this one, or if you use the much more powerful Meanwell RT65B, which is also very much more dangerous, so maybe you shouldn't use that, but no matter what kind of power supply you're using, and if you have this one with that power supply, then I made these the PDP, Power Distribution Panel, which looks a bit similar to the POW, but it just has two 16-pin IDC connectors on the front. So you can just use these to take the output from this one on one rack, and just on the next shelf put it in there, and on the back, of course, you have one IDC connector, and that you connect to the power bus of that. So with this and the power bus as well, of course, there is a complete system to get power to a lot of shelves in a rack as well. This one is coming in the mail as well. It will be a cheap little kit if you need that kind of stuff. So that is coming in a week or two, or in a few weeks, let's just call it that. Yeah, here's another bread bed, same as this one here. As I said, that is coming. Now we're getting over here, so there's more stuff. Here's another wheel. I'm just gonna place that with the other ones. And so we talked about that. This is also an old project that I just feel is creeping closer and closer all the time. So this is a Sync24 interface to the modular. So you get Sync24 in there, and you get clock and a few divisions in there, and you get the run signal if you want that. Of course, it runs on an Arduino. In this case, this is just an ATmega 28 chip that I placed in here with an overlay and this is a crystal, not a crystal, a resonator for 16 megahertz. So a simple module I built a few years ago as well, but that I need to revise and get some just for syncing with other stuff. I have, yeah, you've seen my videos. I have a lot of 303, 606 and stuff like that that I want to interact with my modular. Vactrol, another super simple module where I think the logotype is the most fun part. So yeah, just 3 Vactrols in a small PCB, and it was supposed to be a cheap and simple way of getting a lot of VCAs. It could be a fun module. I just haven't finished it. This is the last one I have. I have given them away as well. But another module I haven't given up on, but haven't finished. Here's an interesting thing, a toy megaphone thing that you have a microphone in and a speaker out, that I wanted to do something fun with in the modular realm. Also, just bought it, played around with it a bit, and it is now just lying, waiting for some inspiration to take that on. Tuners, there's lots of nice tuners. David Haillant has made one nice tuner. There's My Modular Journey did one. There's a bunch of people who's made, of course, Look Mom No Computer. They all build on the same Arduino code. But I thought that I could buy one of these cheap tuners of AliExpress and somehow make that work. It isn't built the way I thought it was, so that's why it's just a bunch of loose parts, so I haven't really made this work yet. But the idea is there, and it's also one of those forgotten things that could be a cool module if I ever get it to work. Right, so here's another module that is basically done. The only thing is how I want the panel to look like, and also I'm not what kind of sounds it should be able to build. So here's 2 different panel versions. So this is Drum 8, I call it. It is, of course, it's a remake of Jan Ostman's drum. He had a small drum module with an 80 Tiny 84, I think, or 85. I made a version very many years ago as well. This one is just using the Arduino Nano instead, because why not? Why use a small 8-pin chip that costs more than this whole, of course, China clone, but where you get the 5-volt regulator, everything in a package. You get the USB port so you can easily add new samples to it and stuff like that. But yeah, so this is just a sample player. I've used it in a few jams. I have it in my rack. Not completely satisfied yet, but yeah, this one has been paused recently because of yeah, the switcher. This one disrupted everything. So this one is going to, this is one of the ones I really need to put down time to fix again. This one is because we had a discussion over on Discord. So it's nice to have Discord to see other people's projects, but then sometimes I get sidetracked and think, oh, I want one of those as well, but I don't want it that way, I want it this way, and I go out and do these projects that I really shouldn't. So this is for taking 8 jacks, turning it into RJ45, and so you can route them longer. A lot of inputs and or outputs over longer distances, basically. So yeah, didn't get anywhere because I got twisted in the twisted pair thing. So they are moved around, because if you use twisted pair cables, the things get changed around. That will be a future project, not very important because I don't need that, basically. Here's a little box of shame. It says Haillant on it. Mostly David Haillant stuff in here, but there's lots of stuff from my other friends as well. And these are, so here's Luther's dual probability gate. I should probably build that. I haven't still. Sorry, Luther. There's lots of MIDI stuff that I want to try out from David. The MIDI 8D Plus, which is open because I built it the other day. I haven't really played with it yet, though. There's the MIDI 1 to 8. There's the MIDI 8D. And then there's a bunch of other stuff in here. Mostly from David, but a few other as well. So this is just things I really want to do, but also lack to do. This will be quite prioritized because I really want to try getting MIDI into my modular. And that's why I built this one. So we put that over here, even though I'm not going to make all of them, but at least the MIDI 8D Plus. Then comes this part. I want to make 1 or 2 or 3 videos about this. I want to make one video just about trying things out, just building these test boards to try. So these are footprints that I've made specifically for some components that there weren't any footprints for. So I wanted to make footprints for that, and then so I do this, and then you have this, how you can place LEDs and stuff like that. Here's a prototype for adding, I think it's this one. the DSO150 to make that into a URAC panel or module. It is not finished, not working at all, but it was a test for doing that. And while testing that, you might just as well test a few other things. So here I'm trying a RGB rotary encoder, and also 2 buttons that I bought from Lakeview buttons that I didn't have any footprints for either, so I made those. And here's footprints for trying out different ways of mounting LEDs on the back of these transparent potentiometers. So a video about that. And then I want to make a special video. Yeah, here's one for LED matrices, and here's one for copper things. But I also want to make a special video about this one. I came up with a way of making a cartridge with PCBs that you just can use in your modular in some way or in your work. And then also I made, while also doing this, I made this for trying out how to make LEDs pushable, if that is possible. So the cartridge in itself deserves its own video, I think. This one, let's not forget this one. So here's 2 projects. This is also, this one didn't work at all. This is a through-hole version of the clouds. Doesn't work at all. There's a special STM board on the back that you can also, with the correct STM chip on it, that you can buy from AliExpress, but I did not get this to work at all. So at the moment this was a little bit too complex for me right now, so that one is actually not prioritized, even though it would be really cool to have a clouds, of course. And then we have this one. This is another one of those just thorn in my side, the DSP 100 or DSP 99. I have so many versions of this one as well. This is from the original modular in a week that I did about this one, and then I've done a whole bunch of different ways of solving or making this into a good module that is actually useful. So in this one there's feedback, and also I wanted to have a clock module for the clock for this one, and of course that makes it all so much more difficult, and it's one of those feature creeps kind of situations where you have a working module and then you start adding features which actually end up killing it instead. And that's where it's at. I really need to, once the Tidal and those component things are done, I really need to put down some time into this one. This one is important to me because I really want to have some good effects in my rack, which also so I've bought these small mini pedals, a bunch of them. Here's one that is what's this? This is a reverb effect, just guitar pedals, and of course I wanted to have a simple way of putting these into the modular, so that is also a module that I've ordered PCBs for, which is coming in the coming week. So yeah, as I say, there's more things going on than what's on this table. Also, this one, I mean, I saw this one and thought I really need to check this out. This is not, there's a really nice instrument that's called something like the Erhu or something, and this one is not it. This is just a simple knockoff thing, but I did like this touch here. I really liked, so I would really like to open up and see what makes this tick, and have one of these, maybe make a bigger version, because these are easy to make, or use or incorporate this one somehow in the rack. But yeah, so it's one of those you just sit and you really shouldn't sit and watch AliExpress and all those pages, because you just get more ideas out of that. This was a small selection, or a big selection, but of projects that are in limbo for the moment. So you got a glimpse of why everything is taking so long. And I realize some of you are really frustrated now that I am not better at organizing myself than I am. And yeah, I'm frustrated too. And hoping this video will help me get a way forward through all this mess. And yeah, at least get a few of these things figured out, can put to the side and move on, and maybe get it out of the studio or something. So yeah, that's it, I guess. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.